But I believe that the rights belong to the local communities, and that's why we have to fight for our sanctuary cities.
There we have it. Good morning. That's Paulette Jordan. After next week, we'll wonder, what is Paulette Jordan doing now? The race for governor, Brad Little outspending her 2-1. It's funny, the Idaho Press, are you big fans of the Idaho Press? Now, to me, I'm a traditionalist. I liked it when it was the Idaho Press Tribune, but new ownership, new this, new that, new direction. They're putting a lot of time and money and resources into this, and they've hired the state's best political reporter, much to the chagrin of Republicans, Betsy Russell. You cannot stop Betsy from doing her job. Betsy is well-researched, and Betsy has an article today talking about Paulette Jordan, and that Paulette Jordan finally put together a TV ad. Of course, you click to the link, and just like everything with the Jordan campaign, there's no TV ad. It's just the Facebook page. But none aside, as we sit back and we take a look at this, it's funny. There's an ad in the Louis Tribune, a story. Is Paulette Jordan looking out for Paulette Jordan? I don't know. I really don't know what to share with you this morning. We could talk about Paulette Jordan. We could talk about the media. We could talk about the president. We could talk about the caravan. The bias for me is always to go local. We could talk about in my opinion, and I'm sorry if you're a scooter fanatic, just how goofy and dumb these scooters are that are running all over the Treasure Valley. Do we really need more obesity? As the Treasure Valley's poster child for obesity, do we really need more obesity in the area by people scooting all around? As opposed to, isn't that litter, having these scooters everywhere? We could get into that. That seems trifle. And just like I was fixated on Megyn Kelly's hair, where she cut it short when she, I think, was trying to be something she's not. Just like Paulette Jordan. You look at pictures of Paulette Jordan before she ran, her hair was longer. Now, maybe Paulette Jordan's like a lot of men. You get serious, you get that haircut, you're going into the game. I don't know. Maybe it's frivolous. Maybe my friend Candy, who doesn't like it when we talk about dresses and whether or not Paulette Jordan should wear a dress. I could do an hour on dresses. And I know what you're thinking. It's the same thing I think of when talk show hosts get off the rails and get goofy and you're going, gosh, just give me some meat, Kay Millie. I'm with you, but I do believe that, I don't know, I've never worn a dress in my life, and I don't plan on wearing a dress in my life. But the idea of young ladies wearing dresses, I don't see a lot of young ladies wearing dresses. Remember when that was the norm in America? Young ladies wearing dresses? Do you remember in America today when, a young lady not wearing a dress was abnormal? Like we talked about the other day, where conservatism now is being marginalized or tried to be marginalized and vilified, as opposed to, hey, everybody's a lib. Like the 60s. This is the revenge of the 60s. I feel like we're in a Star Wars prequel or sequel here. It continues on. The Sith, the libs, the conservatives, the Jedi, the good people. My own opinion. We welcome yours at 580-5436. 580-KIDO. I don't know I think Paulette Jordan would have, and again, my opinion, I think she would have won a lot more votes if she'd worn a dress the other day. Now, again, my friend Candy is going to go, please don't talk about her legs. I'm not talking about Brad Little's legs or her legs or my legs. You see me around town, I'm wearing shorts all the time. They're not very appealing. However, I think that you are what you wear. And if you wear suits, you have a certain amount of respect. If you wear dresses, that's a certain traditional lifestyle that is represented. Anyway, we could play this clip of Paulette Jordan making the national news. I don't know what happens afterwards. I guess she tells herself and tells the nation that she's a victim. She tried, but Idaho is still full of those old white men, old Republicans that own the media. I said it was going to be 70-30. I think it could be 80-20. I think there are a lot of Democrats. And look, we may disagree with the libs, but I'll never take anything away from their work ethic that continually get elected and reelected, much to their, much to our disdain, that they continue to get elected and reelected, the libs. So I sit back and I'm thinking about, what's going to happen to Paulette Jordan when it's done. I don't know. By the way, we will be at the Riverside once again, carrying Oh, I forgot to, I'll have to schedule somebody to take care of that. We're going to be there at the Riverside. We would love to see you. And if you stop by, we'll be there it's going to be a short night. Maybe it'll be over by 10 o'clock. The governor's race will be over, and then we can all go back to Clyde Lewis and George Norrie and then talk about it the next day. I do find it interesting, and maybe we'll see Governor Otter, Maybe we'll get to talk to the governor between now and Election Day. But you have Governor Otter, the Hulk Hogan of Republican politics, and those that don't know Hulk Hogan, that is an extreme compliment from me. An extreme compliment from the captain of the mountain people. Here you have a guy that has been involved in politics since 1972, making these ads with his wife, the First Lady. Prop 1, yes. Now they're going after the people that are against Prop 1. Then you've got Prop 2. You could argue that those really aren't conservative propositions. Prop 1 is the expansion of gambling. No, Kevin, it's to bring horse racing back. Really? It comes down to this. If Idaho is a state that wants to expand gambling, much to the chagrin where you can legally gamble, whether it's going to Jackpot or that place in Oregon or the nations, the tribes, the casinos, then that will happen. It'll become more like California or Oregon. If there still is a resout traditional conservative base, despite spending all the money, despite the issue involving horse racing, it will fail. Prop 2, same thing. And my wish is to speak with the governor. Maybe he'll join us. And I'd say, well, you take a look at Prop 2, and we're talking about, we're going to get our money back from the feds. The feds can pull a bait and switch. Have you ever been involved in anybody that's pulled a bait and switch with you in your life? Maybe it's a job. I can remember a job I went to. I won't say where it was, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Won't say the radio station, KDKA. Won't say that they recruited me. And it was about severance. And they said, don't worry about your severance. You're never going to have to worry about being fired. Okay, but we verbally agreed on a 6-month severance package, and it was a union shop, and the union never steers you wrong. The union's always looking out for you. And what happened? Well, the 6 months became 3 months, and I was fired after 18 months. We call that in the business the bait and the switch. The federal government does the bait and the switch. Maybe you've been in relationships that have been the bait and the switch, or now former relationships, the bait and the switch. Our friend, conservative congressional candidate Russ Fulcher, he even referred to those exact terms during his debate on Idaho Public Television, where it was Tea Party Bob, myself, and I don't know, maybe you watching it, right? I don't know how we could make those debates more viewer-friendly. Maybe we have them at Dave & Buster's like we did at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. But he called it the bait and switch. And you have Prop 1, Governor Otter, Mrs. Otter endorsing it, which really says we're going to bring back horse racing. And then you have people saying, well, the last time you had it, the money didn't go to the schools. Right? I think it comes down to if you're comfortable with gambling. Brad Little, Lieutenant Governor Brad Little, soon to be Governor Little. And Paulette Jordan went at it. She goes, well, you don't call them the tribes, you call them the nations. Okay. Well, when the nations, the tribe, whomever, were allowed to have the casino gambling, what happened next? What happened next? Well, the horse racing suffered. So you bring that back. Of course, the people that are going to fund the opposition to Prop 1 are going to be for their own interests. That's one. Prop 2, Medicaid expansion. I wish somebody cared. I wish somebody in government was honest and faith-based and had legitimate credibility. I know of one person, and they're not elected yet. I believe that person to be that man, to be that individual. And many of you that have moved into the state, you think, wow, this is Good Time Charlie's. We're going to build a Buca de Beppo. We're going to have another P.F. Chang's. Heck, we're going to have another Costco in Meridian. These are good times in Idaho. And maybe where you were, the recession didn't hit you as hard as it did in Idaho. In Idaho, it was so bad, the state had to wait to pay the tax returns because we ran out of money. Do you remember that, true believers? I haven't been here that long, but I do remember it. And the point I'm trying to make here is it hasn't been good times all the time. And I can remember listening to the testimony before the House and the Senate where to save the state fiscally, the government had made the move to cut funding to supporting special needs programs. Right? You know, when you're talking about supporting mentally challenged individuals, you know, yesterday in Nampa, they did the Cop on the Roof. Chief Calley of the Eagle Police Department was there, dressed up as Dwight Schrute. And they're raising money for the Special Olympics. God bless people that are caregivers, that work for nonprofits. But you don't have the people that do that getting multi-million-dollar budgets to lobby to restore funding to programs that help the mentally challenged, the special needs, for rides, for trips, for medical treatments, do you? Now, for Medicaid expansion, you have the big money. I'd like to see the same state government that spent money, $200 million, it'll be at the end, my opinion, to buy the HP campus, to restore that funding to the mentally challenged, the special needs, to get those folks the help that they need. You know, Medicaid expansion, again, I would love to see the money that we're spending for these ads do some real good. The worst thing that can happen to you is you go into a place and you can't afford medical care. Right? You can't afford medical care. It's one of the biggest issues we have with mental health, medical health professionals. The first thing they ask you is, what's your insurance? The second thing is, I need your copay. As an individual that says to me, you don't give a rip about me, all you care about is getting your money. So you can build these big, elaborate, ornate things. That's what I'd like to see, true caring from people. Right? I don't get that from Paulette Jordan. You know, those are issues that she could have championed, but she's too busy making documentaries that 3 people will see on Netflix. So as we've kind of circumvented here, we've got a few big issues. Prop 1, I think it's just expansion of gambling. And look, many people like to gamble. If that's your thing, so be it. I am not criticizing you for that. Prop 2, Medicaid expansion, the bait and switch. Well, we needs to get our money. Again, I'm raking leaves. I hate raking leaves. My body was being physically repulsed by getting the leaves going. It's like me wearing pants. It was a horrible experience. This young lady comes up to me and says, "Hey, how you doing, Kevin? Are you going to vote for Prop 2? I don't know. Well, what do you think? We needs to get our money." And I'm thinking, the argument is so simple. If you don't have the critical thinking skills, you can go, well, you're right, we need the money from the feds. Of course, when the feds cut it off, where are we? At 580-5436, 580-KIDO. I'd love to hear from you next on a variety of issues, but if we're going to really talk about making a difference, did we ever really restore the funding that was taken from the programs for the physically and mentally challenged? Whatever happened to those folks? Oh, they don't have the big money constituencies that we see in other places, do they? They don't have the big money brouhaha that everybody else does, sadly. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Don't forget, coming up, 2 big events. It's going to be, we're back on the road again. Friday morning, we were going to be at Ambrose School. Looking forward to that. Perhaps we'll see some people that we haven't seen in quite some time. Maybe we'll have a special mystery guest. That'll be at Ambrose School, promoting our schools, securing our future, thanks to our friends at CapEd Credit Union. And on Sunday, we're going to be at the State House beginning at 1 o'clock, where we're going to hang out and talk to some folks. Actually, there'll be a bunch of speeches, Representative Christy Zitto will be there. Tom Munns will be there. Greg Pruitt will be there. Eric Parker will be there. There's going to be a ton of people there, we hope. Now, I understand Sunday afternoon. Many people say, Kevin, I need you to come to this reception. Kevin, I need you to come to this. Sunday afternoons are sacred for me. I go to church on Sunday night. I get ready for the next day. But it's important that you be there. The reason for this rally is to let you know you're not alone when we're talking about keeping Idaho red. And let's go to the phones. Steve in Meridian with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Steve.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. I was just going to say that you're on top of your game today, man. I really love the last bit, what I caught at least, the monologue where you're, I think, skillfully and lightheartedly pointing out a lot of truth to a lot of people. I love the common sense and the way you break it down, man. Well done. I think you're that's why you do what you do. Good job, Kevin.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you.
You're welcome, man. Have a good one. Later.
You too. All right. That's all he wanted to say. Thank you very much. By the way, at 580-5436, 580-KIDO.
Idaho's very popular and very conservative governor, Butch Otter.
That's from CBS's 60 Minutes when they did that profile on Shabani. But is it conservative to be in favor of Prop 1 and Prop 2?
Idaho's very popular and very conservative governor, Butch Otter.
Liberal Steve joins us now on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.
Good morning, Idaho's most popular and conservative radio host, Kevin Miller. What do you think? You didn't say anything, Miller, about Mexico is finding that their constitution is unconstitutional, their laws against marijuana, and that they'll be legalizing recreational marijuana in the country of Mexico. Now we'll have Mexico on the south, and we'll have Canada on the north.
It's kind of like Idaho. We're surrounded by the dope smokers.
Oh, I don't know what's going to happen to this world, I'll tell you. Oh, and at the Grove on the 6th, the cheers will be heard around the world as Paulette Jordan becomes the first female governor of the great state of Idaho.
You really believe that smoking pot does not de-incentivize you when it comes to working?
Of course I don't believe that.
You're telling me that people that smoke pot have the same work ethic that people that don't?
Well, let's back up here. While they're smoking it or when they're not smoking it?
Before, after. I mean, I've never met a pothead who has any incentive in their life. They're like Cheech and Chong. Now, you obviously have more experience in that realm than I do.
I don't know any potheads, Miller.
You know no one who smokes marijuana.
Oh, I know lots of individuals that smoke marijuana. But
now, let me put you on the spot. Do you smoke marijuana?
Of course not. Why would I smoke marijuana?
Because you're a big proponent of being a smoker.
Well, that's because I'm for the Constitution.
What does the Constitution have to do with smoking marijuana?
The pursuit of happiness.
Touche.
Why do you laugh when I say that? That makes me sad.
You got me on that one. The pursuit. Hold on. Well said. The pursuit of happiness.
I'm not in favor of booze. But I think it should be allowed.
Well, it is allowed. One is legal. One isn't.
Well, Kevin, that doesn't make it right either way.
What do you mean it doesn't make it right? One is the law. One is unlawful. One is right. One is wrong.
Why would anybody want to alter their mind on anything? It's like cigarettes. Why would anybody pick up a cigarette and smoke it or pick up chewing tobacco and chew it? It doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't alter your mind, and it's the most addictive substance possible. Yet that's legal. I
would argue that chicken and pizza are a lot more addicting. Fried chicken.
Oh, it's pretty close race. But the thing is, 20,000 children are killed on the highways, 40,000 total every year by alcohol.
Coming up, you've given me a really good idea, my friend, and it's something that we need to talk about. I'm going to share with you something that is more dangerous than alcohol or smoking pot on our highways.
Texting.
You're right. You're right.
Yes.
And once again, we all have to live with ourselves, Liberal Steve. If there's one thing that we could do to make a significant change in our lives, it would be to stop these people, young and old, from texting while driving. We're going to talk about it next. Anything else from you, young man?
No, just stay fired up, and it'll be such a joyful and happy state of mind when Paulette Jordan is announced governor of Idaho.
Well, maybe you'll get Tea Party Bob to move to Wyoming. Maybe I'll join him.
You stay fired up.
Thank you. How do you handle that? How do you respond to that? 107, I don't know. 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller in the morning. Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning, Kevin.
Thank you, Big Sean. Max in Garden City, good morning.
Good morning, my friend. How you doing?
Living the dream, and you?
You know what? I'm definitely living the dream. I heard another relatively coherent input from Liberal Steve. That's exciting. I'm glad he's back and sober. I guess I mostly want to complain about this Paulette Jordan thing. How can anybody with even an iota of intelligence believe she has any standing chance of winning the gubernatorial race? It seems like every time she opens her mouth, she's deliberately tripping herself up. I've never seen a more self-destructive campaign, with the possible exception of Hillary Clinton, of course. Would you agree?
Well, there are a lot of people that are going to vote for her. Maybe there's a silent wave that's going to be out there to make a difference that we don't see. Maybe,
I wonder if mental illness is really that prevalent in Idaho. Anybody who pays any attention, who listens to the debates, or who reads any of the pieces knows one simple thing. Paulette Jordan has only one stance, and that is Paulette Jordan. Do you think maybe she's in this race, I don't know, as some kind of a spoiler or a distractor?
Well, the state Democratic Party is in big trouble, and they're not going to win the governorship. She doesn't have any coattails. The race that they focused in on is the state school superintendent race, where you have Cindy Wilson Phillips going up against Sherry Ibarra. A lot of people like Cindy Wilson Phillips. She's benefited by the IEA putting in $1 million of ads for Cindy Wilson Phillips. And her name's Cindy Wilson. Wilson Phillips was for entertainment purposes only. Max, you got that. Cindy Wilson. So, that's the race. If Paulette Jordan was a stronger candidate, that could go over into their column. I think the Republicans are so strong that Sherry Ibarra will withstand the onslaught from the IEA and win. That's my own opinion. But she's going to hurt every other Democrat down the ballot. It appears from the published reports and from what we've gathered that Miss Jordan is in it to be a TV star, to be a big star. I mean, it's so bad it's not even worth discussing, but that would be my opinion.
Maybe she's hoping to land a reality TV show later on. I wanted to be governor. I don't know. This Cindy Wilson thing worries me because people, anytime a union, especially a teachers union, throws that kind of money behind somebody, that Cindy Wilson, if she won, would be beholden. And it would raise the cost of education without improving the quality. And our quality leaves a lot to be desired. It could be a lot better. But the liberals have infiltrated, even here in Boise, even in local high schools. And this Cindy Wilson is just a part of it. And Paulette, you're right. She's the single most self-destructive thing the Democratic Party can do. But look around the country. The Democratic Party is hosting all sorts of communists, socialists, weirdos, wackos, and I want to be an Indian type people. I can't think of a single solid Democratic candidate right now. Can you?
I think John Tester.
Oh,
John Tester in Montana. John Tester in Montana is a farmer. He that will be if the president can get Tester, that'll be a good one.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a tight race.
That would be my thoughts.
We'll have to see what happens with it. I just wanted also to say thank you very much for the opportunity that you give all of us here in the Valley. You know, you give us an opportunity to speak our piece, say what we want, without having to stand in the middle of a crowd of snowflakes and fend off the slings and arrows of outrageous stupidity.
This is the safe room.
Yes. You want to put a little promo together.
Safe
Radio, Kevin Miller, the safe room. Safe room.
Right. You've heard Wolf Blitzer, the Situation Room. This is the safe room.
Oh, Wolf Blitzer, the fantasy tent. Let's not get into him. Listen, thank you very much. You're doing a good job. Keep it up, pal.
Thank you, Brother Max.
All right.
Bye-bye. All right, let's go to Brian in Meridian. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Hey, Brian.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Living the dream.
Likewise. Hey, I got a question. I saw Paulette Jordan's new ad the other night, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed a little off to me. And in the ad, she says, if I'm elected governor, I will work hard to pass Proposition 2. Now, aren't they on the same ballot?
They are.
Am I missing something here? How can she work to pass Prop 2 if Prop 2 is already voted on while she's being voted on? I don't get that.
You know, there's a lot of things with her that just don't add up, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, Brian, for Republicans. I'm trying to find the TV ad because I'm desperately looking for content not related to the caravan and the media and Donald Trump today, just for a little variety. I can't find it. I can't find her ad, and
I've only seen it once, and it was right at the end of the Russ Fulcher the public television debate the other night. That's the only time I've seen it.
Wow.
And it wasn't on public TV. It was, I flipped the channel at the end of the debate. I want to say it was on KTVB, but I'm not sure.
Well, you, I guess you've joined myself and Tea Party Bob for watching that Russ Fulcher debate. Oof.
Oh, I was. Let me qualify that. I was channel surfing and found it.
Right.
And I wasn't intentionally watching it.
Was it me, or did the panel just seem angry to be there? They just.
Yeah, for the few minutes I watched it, they seemed pretty quick to cut folks off.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, Brian, I'm going to continue to look for that. So, yeah, well, she's desperate. She's desperate. She's trying to legalize marijuana, and she's trying to go on the coattails of Prop 2. Now, maybe, how about that? Butch Otter, Paulette Jordan agree on Prop 2, but Brad Little doesn't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, can I plug an event that's going on Saturday night?
You know, we are all about plugging things, so go ahead, sir.
Awesome. Let me plug the St. Joseph's Uncorked wine tasting event down at St. Joseph's in Boise. Saturday night at 6:00. It's a great night of 20s swing music, lots of food, taste over 60 wines, and a lot of good time. Obviously, the kids benefit from it. And if nobody has anything else going on Saturday evening, come down and have a wonderful time with us at St. Joe's School. Go to www.stjoes.com/uncorked to get your discount early tickets.
One more time.
www.stjoes.com/uncorked.
Brian, we appreciate it. Plug anything, anytime. We thank you, sir.
Talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you. All right, 580-5436. 580-KIDO. But isn't that interesting? And again, you have, on one hand,
Idaho's very popular and very conservative governor, Butch Otter.
endorsing Prop 1 and Prop 2, Paulette Jordan. She'll obey the will of the people on Prop 2 or Prop 1, but she's all about Prop 2. Maybe that's the only way she wins. So here we go. We can either talk about texting and driving, or we can hear some clips from Paulette Jordan. I still can't get over where the TV ad is, but let's just take a listen to her because I'm tired of hearing me yap.
My next guest is hoping to become the nation's first Native American governor. She is running as a Democrat, and if she wins, she'll also be Idaho's first female governor. She is Paulette Jordan. Paulette, good to see you again. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Breck. I'm always happy to be back.
So what do you make of this news that Senator Elizabeth Warren actually took these steps, took this DNA test to prove Trump wrong, that she indeed has some sliver of a fraction of Native American in her blood?
I think it's fascinating that our president has promised to donate $1 million if she took this test. I hope he gives it to all the Native American candidates across this country. That would really help their campaigns.
Well, there you have it. Paulette Jordan wanting money from Donald Trump.
My next guest is hoping to become the nation's first Native American governor. She is running as a Democrat, and if she wins, she'll also be Idaho's first female governor. She is Paulette Jordan. Paulette, good to see you again. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Breck. I'm always happy to be back.
So what do you make of this news that Senator Elizabeth Warren actually took these steps, took this DNA test to prove Trump wrong, that she indeed has some sliver of a fraction of Native American in her blood?
I think it's fascinating that our president has promised to donate $1 million if she took this test. I hope he gives it to all the Native American candidates across this country. That would really help their campaigns.
Why do you think she did this, though? And why do you think she did this now?
I think it's important for people to realize that there are a lot of people around the country who are identifying with their heritage more and more. In fact, the Kellogg Foundation recently released a study to show that 36% of Americans are identifying with their Native ancestry. And like everybody else, they're looking for their way. And like Senator Warren, she's searching for her own heritage, and we should be respectful of that.
You are so proud of your ancestors. I stood there with you on, travel land over the summer in Coeur d'Alene. We had this whole conversation as part of my American Woman series, and so I know how near and dear this is to your heart, Paulette. So I'm wondering, do you have any problem with her, getting this DNA test in the first place, just based upon the president's taunting her?
I think it's unfortunate that we have a president who is really disparaging an entire body of our people. The First Nations people here should have more respect. We're already dealing with dehumanizing mascots, the culture that we see even in the media that are showing the fact that we can rape our women. We have a mass amount of women who have higher ratios on missing and murdered Indigenous women. So this is really nothing to scoff at, but to support one woman in particular who is in a high office searching for her own heritage. We should all be mindful and respectful of that. I myself, as an Indigenous woman running to be for governor in our state, in this country, I think it's important for me to understand that as well and support everyone else searching for their own culture. Culture is important, and like I've said before, my heritage defines who I am, and for other people who are looking deeply for their roots and connection to this land, I value that and I support it full-heartedly.
Okay, so I hear you supporting Senator Warren, and obviously not at all with regard to what Trump has said to her. Let me move on, Paulette, to these polls. CNN conducted a poll in the race for the 2020 Democratic nomination, and it is a crowded field. Do you fear President Trump's reelection is more likely? And I know it's early, but still, there just doesn't seem to be one clear frontrunner.
There's not one clear frontrunner, but it's going to be interesting. So come 2020, we'll see what happens. We have a lot going on right now in the 2018 midterm election. A lot of great candidates across the country. I myself here am working hard on the ground day in and day out. So as we're pushing forward, we have a lot more to look forward to come November 6th.
But Paulette, on the 2020, on these potential presidential contenders, is there any one name? Guys, throw the list back up, throw the poll back up. Is there any one name that sticks out to you on this list? I'm just going to put you on the spot.
We'll see come 2018. There's going to be a major mix-up. There's a...
Ray Amaya, I think you uncovered her audition tape for CNN. There was really nothing there about Idaho. Really didn't talk about Idaho. She talked about herself and her liberal friends. Think about that when you go to the ballot box. Let's go to Andrea in Nampa with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Andrea.
Hi, Kevin. Good morning. I have a couple questions. One, did you just endorse the Democrat candidate from Montana? I'm just curious.
Oh, Jon Tester, when we were talking about senators that would be tough to get out, I said Jon Tester.
Okay. The Libertarian just dropped out last night. So,
Well, no, Andrea, let me just say this. I know Senator Tester's family. I know his nephew here very well. I've met Senator Tester. What I'm saying is that here's a guy that is really ingrained in his community. From my observations, that's going to be tough to do. If the president does that, it's huge. That's my comment on the Tester race. Please go ahead.
Okay, and I want to talk about Paulette Jordan. She's not going to win. But did you see the editorial in Idaho Press Tribune from the mayor of her town that refused to endorse her and also basically called her a liar?
I've missed that one.
Okay, so it was a couple days ago. I can put it on with October 30th, actually. I can put it on your page. But he said he's mayor of Plummer and basically talked about her saying things in interviews that were not true and that he would not be endorsing her.
Wow. Yeah, if you put it on the Kevin Miller Show page or email it to me, we'll pump that up. That says a lot. What's your take on her? I mean, is this just one big giant audition for CNN or maybe MSNBC?
I think I don't have no idea why people would even consider her. She seems clueless and just a camera lover. I mean, and she's pretty, don't get me wrong, but not to run a state. Hello. She doesn't even make any sense, and all her money is from out of state. It's irritating that even people would like her. I understand they don't want more Otter. A lot of people are that way, but
she failed. She failed to take advantage of that, though. She failed.
She could have really. She might have been able to have won if she'd have just played her cards right, but no, she's way too out there. She's got photos with the Democratic Socialist with her fist up. I mean, she's just way too left.
Andrea, we appreciate it, and thank you for that. You have a blessed day, ma'am.
You too, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Don't forget, we'll be at Ambrose School Friday morning, promoting our school, securing our future, thanks to Cap-Ed Credit Union, Team Mazda, Subaru, and you. You're listening to Kevin Miller on 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio. Blessed to be with you, Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. We go to Terry in Boise. Good morning, Terry.
Hello, Kevin.
Hello, my friend.
What you were saying the other day about they try to knock you off the station. I think Miller Nation will just buy the radio station and put you in it.
Well, thank you, brother.
I don't want that to happen. Well, the one thing I wanted to talk about, you cleared up a lot of things on Prop 1 and 2. Do you believe Prop 2 is another bait and switch on that? Because, like you, for the mentally ill people and trying to get medical aid, or is it going to really be a bait and switch on that, too?
I think anything involved with the federal government is a bait and switch.
Okay. The other thing, your buddy Hannity, I talked to him the other day when she said to say hello to you. The part is, the Republicans have got to grow a backbone, and having the president, the Congress, and the Senate, and we have not been able to get the records and stuff from the DOJ. And if we'd have got that out before this midterm election and shown all the corruption and everything, fraud, I think because Hannity's just wearing himself out trying to get people out to vote, I think that would have turned out a lot more people if we'd have shown the corruption. And because now Hillary Clinton walking between the raindrops, I just hope that she doesn't skate, that they keep on with this investigation and get her an orange jumpsuit and have a box of blackberries and give her a hammer to break them while she's in prison. I just cannot believe that this woman is the one that's got this whole ball rolling and divided this country, and the corruption and all the things she participated in, from Benghazi to the nuclear thing with Russia. And, she has not paid any price for the corruption. And then the letter to Vince Foster was proved to be a fraud about his suicide. I mean, it's just a joke, but I felt that, the Republicans, it would have been helped if the stuff from the DOJ and the FBI would have been brought out before the midterm.
Great point, Terry. I got to run, but God bless, and you're in my prayers, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Dave.